Coming up on the GenGAMEcast, PSN gets a name change. No, you don't need to change your passwords. We visit the rumor mill. Thankfully, there is a lot of good stuff in there this time. Also, 2, we shoot some imposters. Batman, you're officially on notice. All that and more coming up on the GenGAMEcast. Hey, and welcome to the GenGAMEcast for Tuesday, February 7th, 2012. I'm Trevor Mignani, and today joining me on the podcast is...
George Picard,
Benny Gerard,
Gilbert Warner.
And today we have a pretty big show, like usual. We have a pretty full one. And let's just go ahead and get right into it with what are you playing. We'll start with Gil.
I've been playing Final Fantasy 13-2 on the PS3.
Nice. Have you enjoyed it so far?
Yeah, it's been the opening's pretty cool. So it's been pretty fun so far.
Nice. What have you been doing, Benny?
let's see if I can list all these at once.
Oh, boy.
I finished Metroid Prime, doing Metroid Prime 2. Full clear of that next. And then I had a brief stint of Donkey Kong Country 2 versus George. That didn't go very well.
Yeah. I seriously want to see that. I want to see that race happen.
You can see it from George's end. Yeah. Don't watch it.
Okay, so I will definitely not watch it then.
Well, for the record, in that race, I didn't know that he was using a controller. I'm using a keyboard.
Well, it's assumed you should be using a keyboard.
It's extremely difficult. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you be using a controller?
I'm playing it on a ROM.
Well, you should play it on a console then, shouldn't you, George?
Listen, I don't have my SNES here. All right.
Well, you should rectify that and buy one.
I have
one. And you can race me in Donkey Kong Country 2, and we can
that won't be a
find
race.
Out who's really the champion.
It's not a race.
All right, George. What have you been doing?
I'm playing League. Who am I kidding?
Of course, Mr. Pentakill, right?
Yeah, I got my first Pentakill yesterday. Thank you for announcing that. I did. I got my first Pentakill with the new Champion Ziggs. So I've been doing a lot of League because we stream League of Trolls like every night. So, yeah,
nice. Good to hear.
Yes.
All right, so let's go ahead and before we jump in, I should just announce I ordered myself a Nintendo 64, so I'll be playing pretty much whatever I can get my hands on. Mario 64 is what I got first, and I will be playing that with a classic Nintendo 64 controller.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I really can't wait for that to come in. But
Trevor didn't have a childhood, I guess.
No, I did. I just sold it for a PlayStation 2.
Oh my God!
That was a mistake.
I'd love to hear what Riggs has to say about that one day.
All right, but besides that, I've been I went back to Skyward Sword. Besides that, I'm looking at my game wall. What did I not play on this list? I didn't play Battlefield 3. I played a little bit of Call of Duty. But,
Okay.
That's pretty much what I did this week.
Not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't a big week for me. I had a lot going on, school starting and all, but
yeah,
that's it. I got food that just appeared in front of me. That's fantastic.
Nice, that's good.
It's always good. It's always good to see food.
Yeah, I didn't know we had other podcast employees.
Yes, I have a full-time stat to bring me food, pigs in the blanket for the podcast.
Wow,
this is good
awesome
stuff here. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this week in news, shall we? The biggest story this week is coming out of Sony, who is finally killing off the PlayStation Network name and instead rebranding it to the Sony Entertainment Network. The good news is you don't have to change your passwords, or do you, George?
You will not need to change your passwords, no. But basically, this is a typical Sony move. Let's say 3 years behind or 4 years behind Xbox. Yes.
Yeah.
Behind Microsoft, trying to finally tie together their network into one entertainment brand. And I don't know if it's too little, too late. I don't know.
So the name Sony Entertainment Network, it's designed to just tie in all the different services, right? They're trying to tie in Curiosity, and do they have a movie service too?
Yep, they have their movie service and their music service. They're trying to tie it all in together into one convenient account, according to Sony.
Well, if anything about Sony has been convenient, it's been the free games they've given us because of their meltdown of security. But if they're trying to make things easier, I cannot fault them for that. But
No.
I think this might be a little confusing. I mean, for people that have been playing PlayStation Network, they're going to see that whole icon disappear and change. You're like, wait a minute, what happened to PSN? Oh, it's SEN now.
Yeah, and there was really little time. They didn't really give anyone that much time. I guess it's not really the biggest deal in the world. They don't have to warn their gamers ahead of time, but they really didn't say much about it. It was kind of abrupt.
It seems like a useless move to me.
Yeah.
I don't see what's wrong with PSN. What's wrong with PlayStation Network?
Yeah.
It's clear. It's to the point. I think people are going to be wondering when they turn on the PlayStation. Oh wait, what's this SEN thing? Can I still play online? Do I still have PSN? What's wrong?
Yeah.
They're adding more confusion. I think they should just stick with PSN and be happy with what they have.
I'm gonna jump in and say, as long as people get to play online for free, nobody's gonna care.
Yeah.
It's like, can I still play Modern Warfare 3?
I can definitely agree with that.
Great.
As long as it's still free,
Don't care.
nobody's going to complain. People just like, oh, they changed the name. Oh, okay, whatever. I think it's more of a facial change than really any sort of like big major surgery. At least so far.
I mean, and I don't even like the picture, but that's okay. I don't even like their new emblem.
I like the old one.
I like the PSN network. The PSN logo is actually pretty sweet. There's nothing wrong with it.
You know what this new thing looks like? Those hideous new Miami Marlins jerseys. That's what it looks like. I don't know if anyone's seen those, but they're just terrible. That's what this looks like. I just got a bad feeling about it, but
so we can bring it up on the feed. But
yeah, I mean, I think the name, I think the name PlayStation Network was fine. I mean, it was perfect, really, because I mean, it's just like Xbox Live. The name describes exactly what it is. This is the online or live network for the Xbox, and for PlayStation Network, it's like this is the network for the PlayStation. Sony Entertainment Network, what is that?
I guess it's your network for all Sony things.
Yeah, but what if I don't want a network for all Sony things?
You just happen to be able to access it on your PlayStation.
Yeah, see, that's the part that's not going to go over well. They should have stuck with PSN.
Okay.
Quick question, George should probably answer this. Does that mean they're folding Sony Online Entertainment, that whole service, into this then?
Yeah, because now we have SOE too. Is that folding in?
Yes, I'm pretty sure. I mean, there hasn't been much. They haven't really said much, and they said as of tomorrow, basically the only change that you're going to see is the emblem and the name. They didn't even say that they were going to...
And a 30-minute firmware update.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Plus.
Can I get an agreement with that? Is that there's the major problem with Sony's online updates is every time something changes, firmware update happens, it's a half hour before you can start playing games again.
Yeah, but to be honest, there aren't many games I'm playing on my PS3 right now anyways.
Yeah, agreed. That I wouldn't be playing on Xbox.
Until
Call of Duty.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I already played Batman. Okay. Well, got nothing to do until the show comes out, so that's it for me.
Yeah, the show's actually pretty good, though. For the people I've talked to, they say it definitely blows away the 2K product.
Oh, yeah, by a mile. That's why I got a PS3 in the first place, to be honest. But, yeah. Do we have any more thoughts? No?
I don't play PlayStation.
Okay. There you go.
No, I have an SOE, I guess, account. I haven't put money into it.
I have one too.
Mostly just so I could try out DCUO for the week.
that's why I have one too.
And I tried that for a week, and I'm like, yeah, I'm done.
Was it really that bad?
I just lost interest in it very, very fast.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to some Xbox news. We went on the PlayStation side of the coin. Now we're going on to the Xbox side of the coin. And if you are an Xbox Live Silver member and you got into the Mass Effect 3 beta, well, guess what? Your account just got upgraded to Gold.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm applauding Microsoft for this. Well, not only are they going to get people happy about this, positive PR, they're going to be able to get better results out of the beta by allowing people to really test the game as it was intended, which is they're really trying to get feedback on the co-op multiplayer.
And you know the best thing that they're going to get out of this?
What?
People are going to wake up and say, "Why the hell don't I have gold right now?" And honestly, why don't you have gold? You have an Xbox. What are you doing with silver in the first place?
Well, I mean, maybe they don't have
Netflix.
internet.
Maybe they don't have internet. Get out of here. Who doesn't have
Hey,
internet?
there are a lot of people who live out in places where they can't get better than 56K.
God.
That is
I
still a
used to be one
problem
of those.
in this country.
They have
I
Xboxes
discovered
there?
civilized life.
Oh,
Kidding.
George. Oh, George.
I'm sorry. But
It must suck to be out there though if you are out there and like where you have no internet and a game releases and it needs an online patch in order to be playable.
yeah, right?
Ooh, bummer.
Yes,
Hey,
you
buddy,
should.
can I come over to your house? I need to download some stuff. For what? My Xbox? Well, can't you do it on your computer? Saws, no internet.
Man, I feel bad for all those PS3 Skyrim players out in the boonies with 56K.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
Come on, 2 weeks left. Hurry up.
You'd probably be better off getting one of those like wireless air cards for your computer, your laptop, and then ad hoc in the connection. That actually works very well.
Yeah, no,
I've
it's
done
really
that
not
before. I did a ad hoc connection from my phone to my computer, then created a wireless network and played my 3DS that way. It was awesome.
That's just nerd right there.
Oh yeah,
There's-
I had to get my fix. I had to
Yeah,
get my
there
Mario
is.
Kart on.
Oh my gosh. There is just no need for that.
But the bigger question raised in out of this whole thing is, should Microsoft make Xbox Live, at least the online multiplayer aspect, free to all users?
Absolutely not.
No.
No.
I've been kind of leaning on the fence, yes and no on this, but excuse me, the gamer inside me wants to say no because I think the quality of service will just go right down the tubes.
No, the gamer inside you should say yes. The business person inside you should say no. I mean,
I'm sorry. I played on Xbox Live. I played on PSN.
right.
There is no comparison.
That's true. That's very true. When it comes to the community and the communication levels and anything like that, yeah, agreed.
Like I don't mind paying for services that are good. If it's a good service, I do not mind paying for it.
Like Cablevision.
Well,
Sorry.
well, right now it's holding
Yeah, after
steady.
we-
So the little screen over here is saying that we are streaming and it's still working. So there's no complaints yet.
Thanks, Cablevision.
This stream powered by Cablevision and its lack of suckage tonight.
The heck is-
I want to know how many weeks ago with us bashing Cablevision before they finally shut you down.
Oh, it's gonna be one or two more. We're almost
Oh
done.
yeah, we're really cutting it close. I think they're watching. They know the podcast exists. They're just waiting for us to say the right thing to just pull the plug.
I mean,
It'll be
we've
like
mentioned their name enough that they should like us.
But so I guess we're all in agreement here that Xbox Live should remain a paid service.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, I think there needs to be. I feel like there needs to be one service that sets. I'm not trying to make a pun here, but a service that sets the gold standard of what the service should provide, and what the level of quality should be. I don't think you can do that as well with the free service, because when it's free, you're just not as motivated to make it as good as it can be.
Very, very
true. I'm going to go a little bit off topic saying these are the same concerns people have with Nintendo's new network for the Wii U. And people are actually wanting them to go with a pay-to-use service because they know they're going to get a better service out of it.
Well, here's
So
the thing.
gamers
Or
themselves know that.
you're expecting a better service if you're paying for it.
Exactly.
Here's
But
the thing.
yeah, if you have that money coming in, you can commit more money to your network.
But if a company comes out and says that you have to pay for a service and it's not that good, then you have to listen to the people complain. If it's free, then what can they say to you?
Exactly.
It's Nintendo anyways. Are they not going to get a console if they're,
Well,
Maybe.
that's just
This
it,
is,
though. It's
in
like-
my opinion, I think this is Nintendo's true last shot at console, at a home console. If it fails miserably, they really have to nail every aspect, because people are going with the Xbox and the PlayStation 3. They've got the motion gaming down. They're hitting every target market in gaming. And with the Xbox, you have everything. Except your core franchise lover, anybody that likes Mario or Zelda or Metroid, Kirby. Am I missing any other big ones?
No, you're good.
You got the major ones, Donkey Kong.
Yes.
But, I mean, that's the only thing that Nintendo has. I mean, it's definitely they're a better position than Sega was with the Dreamcast. When they released the Dreamcast, they had really, one major IP that was driving that system, and that was Sonic.
And Crazy Taxi.
Taxi. Of course, Crazy Taxi.
That was a good game.
Dude, I loved Crazy Taxi. I played the crap out of that.
Bringing it...
The difference between Sega and Nintendo at this point is Sega... I don't know, I just feel like, looking back now at the history, Sega back then, and even to a certain extent today, has no idea what they're doing, you know? Like, you just kind of get that sense, you know, with the Sega CD, and the 32X, and the Saturn...
Dude, but the Dreamcast was awesome, and you cannot deny that.
No, I bought a Dreamcast. I didn't buy it day one, but I eventually bought a Dreamcast, and I agree the Dreamcast was awesome. But the thing is, the problem was their history before that. They had no idea what they were doing. And I think if they had spent a little more time with the Dreamcast before releasing it, and maybe released it in Japan first, and given the system a little bit more of development time, released it closer to, you know, the GameCube, PS2, and Xbox era, I think they would have done much better.
I want to see a show of hands in the chat. Who has purchased a Dreamcast? I'm just curious. Anybody in the chat that got a Dreamcast? See, a couple people in the chat have said, yeah, Dreamcast for the win. Back Kirby, Sam Master. Anybody else? Just shout it out if you had a Dreamcast or liked the Dreamcast.
I got a couple hands here.
Couple hands in there. George, did you have a Dreamcast?
I did not have a Dreamcast, no.
Gil, you had a Dreamcast.
I never...
Right?
I have a Dreamcast right next to my foot. It is actually right next to my desk.
Benny, do you have a Dreamcast?
I'm going to go through everyone else saying no. I did play a lot at my friend's house, you know, way back in the day. He was on the Dreamcast bandwagon.
I had a Dreamcast.
But I was cheap with video games. I've bought very few games.
So you were that guy that went to everybody's house and played their systems like, you're like, oh, I'll take that controller and I'll play Sonic Adventure for 4 hours.
I was the guy who was sitting there watching the game and I was raging. I've never played the game before, but I was raging the fact that they couldn't like solve a puzzle on a certain game, and I'm not even playing the game.
Like, so you're like the backseat gamer.
I'm that bad.
Oh man.
Anymore, not so much, but I was a core Nintendo fan, and I had my Super Nintendo, my N64, my GameCube, and now my Wii. I really haven't dove away from that, and I really don't have a lot of money either.
If I could bring it back to the Nintendo Network, though, I mean,
please.
As far as paid versus you know people won't complain if it's free. That's just it. People will still complain if it's free.
Well, they don't have PSN and how it went down. Lots of people complained that when that happened.
Yeah, so I mean, if it's paid and people are complaining, even if they're complaining louder, hey, at least Nintendo is getting some money for it, you know, each year or month or whatever your subscription will be.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next big story, which is a little Twitter conversation that was happening between a little man named Marcus Persson and Tim of Legend, aka Tim Schafer. And let's just show the tweet. Let's make Psychonauts 2 happen. And this was in a response to a conversation that was happening between... we just put it out there saying, I'm shopping around Psychonauts 2 and nobody seems to be biting on it. And how cool would it be if Mojang ended up publishing it? Breaking into the console game market, the console market, like with physical discs, with a game like Psychonauts 2.
That would be awesome. I loved Psychonauts 1.
That would be incredible.
You'd be giving Mojang more money than it already has. It'd be making more money from Psychonauts 2 than it probably has on Minecraft already. That's how big this would be.
Well, I mean, it's a $60 IP per disc. I mean, I guarantee you they would probably do something crazy, like sell the game for like $40 or something.
On Steam. Well, maybe not. Maybe. I don't know.
3DS version.
I could easily see not really a Psychonauts 2, but kind of like one of those like little spin-offs, but not really. Just like Psychonauts subtitle here, put forth by Mojang. It's only like $20. It's like a half game, but just enough to get it moving and tell people, hey, this is a really good game, new game, future new game.
I don't know. Capcom was going to do that with something similar, at least with Mega Man Legends 3 on 3DS. Put out a little paid demo to gain interest and sort of market the game, and that didn't really work out too well.
Well, maybe it isn't a good idea.
I think Psychonauts 2 would be great. Don't get me wrong. But, just pointing out some recent history is all.
All right.
I got nothing.
You got
George?
nothing? George?
I never played Psychonauts 1, so I can't.
All right,
Okay.
George. Hang
I
on.
can't.
This is what you need to do. Do you have a pen nearby?
I'm not stabbing myself with it.
No, it's better.
Just take
Yes.
your hand.
Yeah, I have a pen.
Okay, what you need to do is you need to take a pen and put it between your fingers like this.
No.
And then take your fingers and put them and just squeeze as hard as you can, because that's a game you should play. And I should thank Yahtzee for pointing out the proper punishment for not playing Psychonauts.
I was going to tell him just to get off the podcast now and go download it on Steam.
That too, but I want to put George through a little bit of pain.
All right, well, I guess I'll do that some more later.
All right, so let's go ahead and take a break and give a shout out to one of our new sites on the network, JenStreamnet, the new location for marathon streams and soon to be much, much more. We're constantly brainstorming new ideas and things about GenStream. So go ahead and check it out. Leave a comment on the post. Let us know what you like about it, what you don't like. You can send me an email if you have any feature requests or things you want to add to it. That's Trevor@gengame.net. You can shout me out on Twitter, too. But it's going to be a really cool site. We're really excited to be bringing on some great people to run the site and to make it grow into something super big and awesome. So check it out, GenStream.net. All right,
I'm going to open up my favorite browser, Internet Explorer 6, and check it out right now.
Oh, no, not Internet Explorer 6.
Actually, I think that died.
I don't think Internet Explorer 6 is capable of browsing to our sites anymore. I think it just gives you a middle finger. It says, go download a real browser. All right, let's go ahead and move on to some of the smaller stories of the year. We've got some cool new games that just came out today. One of them, a little game called Gotham City Imposters, and this is actually pretty cool. It's it's kind of like a fake. You have your fake Batmans and fake Jokers out and about and doing all sorts of crazy things, shooting each other, and this is pretty cool. It just came out on Steam, and look at this. This is just hilarious. Like the costumes. I don't know if you guys saw the trailer or not for it.
Watching it right now.
But it's pretty cool.
It does look pretty cool. How much is this? Let's see. Let me see this.
Is it quick question though?
I think it's like
$14.99,
$14.99, right?
$14.99, yes.
Is it only Batman's versus Jokers?
I haven't really I haven't downloaded it yet, but it looks so cool. I really want to give this game a shot.
For
It's
$15
class-based.
price tag, it's probably going to be worth it.
George is just super focused on this.
Yeah, I'm looking at all the details about it right now. It looks like it's more than Batman and Joker.
Naughty little bat.
So,
Where do I get one of these? Awesome! Oh!
so it's on Xbox Live Arcade, PlayStation Network, and of course Steam. $15 is the price tag, at least on Steam, at least whatever it is in Microsoft points, and probably $15 on PlayStation Network.
Mm-hmm.
But this just looks so cool. With this coming out, we have Super Monday Night Combat that's coming out soon. It's in beta right now. Lex sent me a beta code. I'm going to be playing that. I'm concerned about Super Monday Night Combat, though, because it's free to play. I like Monday Night Combat because you paid into it and it felt like it was a real game. But enough of Gotham City Imposters. I mean, George, you saw the trailer. What did you think?
I thought it looked really funny. It looks really, really funny. I don't know about how much replay value. I guess you can get some replay value out of it. I don't know. It's definitely worth a look if you haven't seen it yet.
Absolutely. And up next on things that you probably should have already seen by now is the release of Fallout New Vegas Ultimate Edition. And this is basically the game with all the patches, all the DLC, hopefully no more bugs. But
Doubt it.
finally I might pick up the game because I really wanted to get New Vegas, but I wanted to wait till they had everything settled. Because
How many discs is it on? 3 on Xbox, maybe?
Is it
1
three?
on
I thought
PS-
it was only 1 or 2.
I don't know. Figure it's an Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, well, it's got to come with some extra stuff or some DLC codes.
Yeah.
It's probably what it comes with.
Yeah.
Is this the edition before the Super Limited Edition Ultimate Edition?
Obviously, it has to be, Benny.
Just because there's been many games that do that in the past, and it'd be like Ultimate Edition, Game of the Year Edition, and then.
But like, I mean, it's a very good game, very engrossing experience. And now, finally, for those of you who have not jumped onto the bandwagon like myself, you can get the Ultimate Edition for a discounted price. So you're getting all the DLC, which is probably some of the best parts of the Fallout games. Is all the extra stuff you can do, and you're getting a couple extra bonus things. So definitely worth checking out, though.
It's a ton of content, tell you that.
Yeah, a ton of content.
But I don't think it won't have any bugs, but that's okay.
All right. So I don't know if any of you guys checked out Skylanders at all, bought it, got into it. I know Matt has, and he really liked the game.
I was gonna say I've watched Under the Rock, but I've not actually played it myself.
I've seen a good bit of the promotional material for it, and I get how it works, and it's definitely cool, but I'm not super interested in it myself.
I don't know. It's something that's like it's almost too much to make an investment in. It's like, you know what? It's a $60 or no, it's $70 to get the portal and the starter kit, and then you have to buy the additional characters. It's like almost too much of an investment to get into it. Mm-hmm. Thinking of it from like as like an adult, a quote unquote adult thinking about this game. It's like, you know what? I don't know. It's a bit of a stretch here.
Well, I mean, for me, it's like, okay, if I were to get this game, I'd get it, and then if I wanted any additional characters, I would look around and be like, okay, this guy looks cool, and so I'd get the characters that I really liked and wanted to play. I wouldn't bother buying all of them, but it seems to me like this is the type of thing that really needs to be super successful. I mean, almost like, Modern Warfare successful to really work, because, I mean, at least for me and my friends who, well, I'm not going to go into them, but, I get a game like this. I was like, oh, hey, guys, let's play this game. It's like, no, I'm not interested in that game. It's like, come on, seriously? It's cool, seriously. Just get it and play it. No, I'm not going to do that. Right. So, I mean, it'd have to be like Call of Duty popular. We could go up to anyone and like, hey, want to play Skylanders? Heck yeah, I do. And yeah,
I'm trying to get the trailer up on here, but for some reason it is just not working.
The only thing that you need to know about the trailer is that it's about 68 to 32% in favor of dislikes.
Yeah, well, at least that was the Machinima post when they put it up on their channel. Obviously, none of them liking it,
right?
Or the majority not liking it.
Yeah.
But they're introducing Giants, and it's going to be a new game, and it is gonna unfortunately probably require more characters. I just think it's a cool concept. I'm not going to knock the game, but it's expensive.
If this this target market that they're going for, this kids market, for the most part, to be honest, is a very, very good market to go for, and it's a good market in which case you can give someone like, oh, this is a new character, just spend $30 on them, and kids will do it because they're kids. But
well, I mean, the character's only $7.
I'm just saying, you know, If this was not Skylanders, this is my problem. We grew up with Skylanders, you know? Most of these characters we know. They don't. If this was like Pokemon to them, I feel like this would be gigantic. But it's not. But I don't know, that's just my opinion.
Yeah. Well, unlike Pokemon, it's you don't catch them all, you have to buy them all.
Right.
And as
yeah,
we know
so-
from Penny Arcade, Gabe has bought them all.
There you go.
Yeah, or it could be like South Park's Chin Pokemon.
Oh, God. Oh.
Come on. If I can make one note, just quibbed George. Imagine if they did League this way. Instead of just picking a champion, you put them on a little thing on your desk, and it's like a little action figure of your champion.
Dude, that'd be crazy. I would
That'd be
totally get into
awesome.
League.
I wouldn't play
Everyone
League.
would have League if they did it like that.
No. No
And then
one
you
would
just
have it.
swap that on the
No,
fly. It's like,
no,
oh,
it's not.
LLJK, this guy sucks.
You'd lose all
Put
of
a
your
tank in.
competitive players instantly.
Think about it, George. You have a little 3D figure up your face when you get that pentakill, and be like, you can show your girlfriend. She comes over. See this little guy? I killed 5 people with him.
That's
Oh,
great.
that's hilarious.
What did I? She'd be like, "How'd you do that? Did you choke him with it?" Be like, no. I did it in a video game. Okay. That's weird.
It's something that's clearly not for adults. It is clearly a kids game, but I could see like parents enjoying this with their kids too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
But it's
It's
not
a
on
very
the Wii.
specific market.
No. Skylanders is on the Wii. It's on every system. It's even
Oh,
on the
it is?
3DS.
Yeah?
It's on
I did not
Wii,
know that.
3DS, everything.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean they got everything covered. So I mean that's pretty good. They hit everything.
Okay.
All right, so let's move on because I really don't want to talk about Skylanders anymore. But we'll talk about another Sony failure. And apparently you're not going to be able to bring your PSP discs to the Vita. Oh well.
To me, this isn't really a failure, though.
Well, they did it in Japan where they had the UMD passport program, which allowed you to transfer your Vita titles to not your Vita titles, your PSP titles to your Vita. But
For a nominal fee.
yeah, for it was for a was it for what was the cost for it?
And the article I read didn't say, but it did say there's a small fee.
Yeah, but it wasn't
I mean-
like anything substantial.
I have no I wouldn't know. I'm not Japanese.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I would say this is definitely a fail. I mean, this is a huge failure, especially if Sony really wants to succeed in the handheld market. This is a really, really bad move.
Sony needs to do
it's
anything they can do to create positive PR because they've had so
Yeah.
much failures. It's just why Sony?
I mean-
why did you take away the passport program? That would have been
The
a
real
super
thing-
win at launch.
The real problem is that it's definitely an expected move. It's not a surprising move, and that's the problem. And I didn't buy a PSP until I got it for I could get it for under $100 because with the PSP Go and that failure, I mean, they're like, oh yeah, you buy a PSP Go, any of your discs, not a problem. We'll work out some kind of code or something so you can download all your old disc games on your PSP Go. And then PSP Go comes out, so where's that code or whatever? Yeah, about that. Change your
Just
mind.
kidding.
Just rebuy them. You
can just
the
rebuy
games
them?
are
That's
$40.
okay.
Go ahead. Actually, I'm sorry, no. We just raised the price of the games to $50. Go ahead, just rebuy your whole library of PSP games for a PSP Go, and you'll be all set. Okay? All right. So it's not a surprising move. Sony basically is saying, look, we're going to release this handheld, but we really don't want to be in the handheld market, so we're just gonna make it cost as much as possible for you, so you won't buy it.
We'll take as much money from the people who are willing to give it to us.
Exactly.
The problem with this is that they're thinking that, okay, a lot of people don't have a PSP even more. Nobody bought them, so we don't need that feature in the Vita. But the thing is, the same people who didn't buy a PSP aren't going to buy a Vita. So
I
There you go.
think I can quote myself on an earlier podcast saying I really want to get a PlayStation Vita because it just looks really cool. I got Extreme Gadget Lust for it. I really haven't got. I got to get my hands on it before I can really make a decision now. Because after all I've seen with it, all the complaints, the software sucks, missing features, and an overall experience that just isn't great.
Sounds like the 3DS.
Yeah,
You can win one. You should try and win one.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a giveaway, re-giving away, because the person who we said won didn't claim it, so we're re-giving it away. So if you want a shot at that, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're going to be drawing it Wednesday. So Wednesday at some point we'll be drawing it. So if you're watching this pre-recorded, you have like 2 seconds to download to subscribe to the channel.
Twitch.tv/GenGame.
I just have my one thing. I don't see that this is the biggest deal in the world, to be honest. I don't understand why people are making such a big fuss about it. When you bought a Super NES, did it play your NES games on it? No.
Nope.
Yeah,
when you bought an N64, did it play your Super NES games on it? No.
No, but there's a difference. When a feature
when
was
you got
promised,
your Xbox 360, did it play all your Xbox games on it? No.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, at first it did.
Didn't end up playing
George,
all of them.
George BS on that. It played the ones that were important.
But to be honest, who cares? If you want to play a PSP game and you really want to play it for whatever reason, it must have been awesome, then go get your PSP out. No one said you needed to sell it. No one said you needed to burn it. It's a handheld. It's not even a console. It's not like you have to dig it out of some closet. It's probably right next to your Vita in the first place.
Yeah, but with handheld, which
dust.
Nintendo has set the standard for, Nintendo's done a very good job of, for the longest time, you could, with your Game Boy Advance, you could play original Game Boy games on it, Their handhelds were always backwards compatible. And the only time that actually changed was when they released the DS Lite and they took out the Game Boy Advance slot. Or no, I'm sorry, not the DS Lite, the DSi. And even with the DS and DS Lite, you couldn't play original Game Boy games on it. But the point is, the thing is, they didn't take that feature out. They didn't take out the ability to play original Game Boy games until there was a generation of kids who never really grew up with original Game Boy games in the first place. A lot of them kind of skipped them, and they had Game Boy Advance. And if they had any original Game Boy games, it was Pokemon Red or Pokemon Silver. And now you can get Soul Silver and Heart Gold on the DS. So
which are essentially the same games.
Yeah.
I gotta say, on that note, Nintendo's history of backwards compatibility recently has been more about timing, because the original Wii could play GameCube games, but later on, when people who were buying the Wii for their kids didn't have GameCube, so it's like, okay, they don't need this feature anymore. So they took it out because it was irrelevant.
Right, they even took out you can't even plug a GameCube controller into most Wiis.
Yeah, because you doesn't play GameCube games.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So who cares?
I wouldn't say most Wiis. I think most of the Wiis Nintendo sold were the ones with the GameCube
most of the Wiis you can see in the store now.
The one I have, it's still first generation. Well, I'm never giving it up. But
same here. Yeah, I got it first day. Right, but still.
Yeah.
Not to mention there's $200 worth of games on it. I'm never giving that up.
Yeah.
But then again, Nintendo also has the Virtual Console, which on the Wii U, that's definitely going to include GameCube games, I think.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt, it's going to include the GameCube games because it's got the power to do it, and the console has gotten just old enough where they can start remonetizing those games. I think it's like once the game reaches 10 years old, they can start doing it.
You know what's incredible? Somehow we still get to Nintendo. I don't know what that says about Nintendo. I don't know if
Nintendo doesn't have to make the news to make the news.
Yep. Right. Yep. It's true.
At this point, aren't they? They're the oldest console maker. So regardless of whether or not you like Nintendo, I kind of feel like they're the company to look to for
what's next.
Yeah, for what's next. For kind of, I almost kind of want to say how things should be.
Like seriously, they blazed the trail for motion gaming with the Wii.
They did,
and bringing forth tablet gaming too. That's going to be another.
Well,
huge
I wouldn't say that. I think Apple did that with. The
I think
iPad.
Angry Birds did that.
I think Rovio did it.
Okay, all right. Well, then you can also say, well, the DS did it first with touchscreen.
That is true.
Then you can say, the Dreamcast did it first. They had a
I
screen
take that
in their
back.
controller.
I take that back. Nintendo did blaze the trail.
WarioWare
touchscreen gaming first.
WarioWare on your handheld. There it is. What? That was awesome. Saying.
I as far as Apple is concerned, I don't know. I can't help but feel like every time someone brings up the Vita, I can never compare it to the 3DS because the Vita seems to me directly aim at iPod and iPhone users. more so than 3DS gamers, because it's like, oh, look, it's got a touch screen and you can get Skype and you can browse the internet and you can listen to music, all these great features. And it's like, yeah, but I just kind of want to play great games.
You know, the coolest feature about the Vita, I feel like, is never being talked about. You can take your game from your console and play it on your handheld. To me, that's the coolest thing, and no one seems to care about it.
But
and
it's
that's
only good
why
if you hack it and you can play Battlefield 3 on it.
No. Oh.
No, you can't get. Hold on, let me just clear. Bad Kirby's here. You cannot get Skype on 3DS. I was talking about the Vita.
Yes.
But
you can have Netflix on your 3DS, so that's kind of cool.
You can have
And
Netflix
you
on
can watch
everything.
you can watch 3D trailers on your 3DS on Netflix.
I'm sure there are there are watches you can get that'll support Netflix. So
Actually, the Moto Active will do that.
see, there you go.
I find it funny that Trevor does know that answer.
you can watch Netflix on anything. So I wouldn't say Netflix on the 3DS is a huge deal. I mean, Hulu Plus is going to be coming to the 3DS eventually as well, and that's not a big deal either because Hulu Plus is also getting to the point where it's on everything.
Yeah, that's also true.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to some DLC news. Just a public service announcement here, folks. In case you bought Final Fantasy 13 2, the first DLC is available today.
Already?
Yeah, you can download Lightning.
That's it. That's all I got on that one. Anybody else?
It's like $3.
It's just too soon?
Should have been included on the disc.
I'm very surprised to read this just because it's like... Was the game done 6 months ago? And they're like, oh, we gotta wait to release it. Meanwhile, we're gonna work on this and just release it day one. If you have it already done, you should wait to release the DLC, just like you waited to release the game.
That's laziness.
From what I understand, you can battle Lightning in the Coliseum, and if you win, she'll join your party, and it'll add some story elements. I'm not exactly sure how that'll work. I'm not sure if it's like a side story or if it's like you play through the main story and you get these additional story elements, different from the story that shipped with the game. So, I mean, I don't know how all that's going to work, but I think the reason for the waiting a week is because the people who are really going to want this are people who are going to have beaten the game, and now they're basically, hey, spend $3, you can replay the game, get Lightning from the Coliseum, and get some additional story from it.
All right,
that's my guess anyway.
All right, we'll leave it at that for Gil.
Sounds like a pretty detailed guess.
I think he hit the nail on the head with that one.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to some Mass Effect discussion. And well, apparently it's not going to end at 3, is it, Benny?
Nope.
I
mean, a lot of people are speculating that 3 is going to be the end of Commander Shepard, like they're going to kill him off or something like that, because they announced it's their trilogy with Commander Shepard, but they never said it was the last game. Same thing with Halo. Like, they never said it was the last game after 3. Everyone assumed that, and it's like, boom, Halo 4. What? Mass Effect is a really big franchise, and they're not going to give that up right after 3 games.
Oh yeah, there's too much money.
You look at any game, any franchise, not even games, in movies or television or anything. You get to a point, it's like, you know what? We can't just end it. Okay, television's a bad example, but movies. One in particular, I would say the Pirates series. Everyone thought they were done at 3, and like, oh hey, we're gonna make another one because we feel like it.
But they should have been.
Well, yeah, because they left the story open ended.
They did, and even though they wrapped up a lot of things. Beside the point. It's too big of a name to give up right after just a 3rd game. Sure. Same thing with Halo. It's going to be the same thing with Mass Effect 3. So.
When there's more money to be made, there's no reason to not make it.
Exactly.
I disagree.
That's the same reason why we see Call of Duty.
That's the American way.
It's the same reason we still see Mario games to this day. You're not going to give it up.
If they're going to make a profit, then make it.
I think there's something to be said for going out with a bang, though. I mean... say they release Mass Effect 3, and then that's it. There are no more Mass Effect games. But instead, they focus on a new IP, but with similar gameplay. So in a way, it's more of a I like the idea of spiritual successors rather than direct sequels all the time. I'm really not looking forward to that. I mean, we're already up to what, Call of Duty 8 or 9 with Modern Warfare 3?
This will be the 9th game that comes out this year.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
And we're next week we have an awesome discussion planned about how to fix Call of Duty, and I just can't wait to do that discussion.
Stop making Call of Duty. That's how you fix it.
No, we have a way to fix it. We figured it out. We ran the math. We did the research. We have run the simulations. It is fixable.
Microsoft shouldn't be making Halo either, by the way. I mean, I liked Halo. I liked all the games that were released other than Halo Wars, which I never played. But I liked the other games that were released. But as good as they were, I think they should stop.
All right, I should clarify. Call of Duty, I don't think it's broken. It's just become stale.
But everyone
stale.
bought it.
Modern Warfare 3 is a clear example of that.
It's stale. But okay, enough of that. That's for next week. But just to bounce back on how franchises should like revigorate themselves instead of using the same IP. Like take Naughty Dog for example. They finished up Uncharted 3, and now they're moving on to a new IP which looks absolutely amazing, and that is I believe it's The Last of Us, which looks incredible. It's like a survival zombie game that actually doesn't look like Left 4 Dead, which is good.
That is good. We don't need another one of them.
Yeah.
People like zombies.
It's the craze right now. Zombies and vampires. That's where it's at.
I think Naughty Dog's going to try and capitalize on the fact that Dead Island wasn't satisfying enough, and people have been looking for a good zombie game since
this looks good because it looks really cinematic. We haven't seen gameplay yet. We were only seeing trailers, but the story looks good. The characters look interesting, and I think this might be a reason to blow the dust off the PS3.
I'm going to say, though, the original teaser trailer, or whatever trailer it was, for Dead Island looked gorgeous. And then the game after that, it just kind of... It was a big release, and then it stopped. But most people, when you say zombies, you think, okay, Black Ops, they have zombies. And they're looking for something similar. And I think everyone's trying to do zombies, but in their own way. I mean, I'm not going to say Naughty Dog won't accomplish that, but we had to see some gameplay first to make a really good judgment on that.
Right. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the SSX soundtrack, which has been released. I'm really excited about this because I really liked Tricky, and the games that came out after that were like, eh. But this one looks like it's a real return to what SSX should be. And we got some good tracks on here, some dubstep tracks and some classics like Run DMC's It's Tricky.
If you don't have that on there,
like
you can't do kind of like a reboot.
That right there is your reboot.
Mm-hmm. I love Tricky. I want to see if I can get my hands on a copy of that and play that in the future.
Dude, I cannot wait. I mean, some of the other things in there. I mean, not everybody's gonna be into the soundtrack, but it's a very, very techno soundtrack.
This is an awesome soundtrack. Yeah. This is a typical snowboard soundtrack right here. I'm gonna go ahead and counter with that. There are a couple of comments saying people that it's very techno heavy, but the previous games were very kind of indie rock heavy.
Well, I mean, you do have your indie rock songs in here, or like indie rock. Like you have Foster the People. You have
a lot of these names I've never really heard about. The only big one on here, they had to get a big one, was Skrillex, which is huge.
Yeah,
Skrillex is in like every game by EA now.
Yeah,
just saying, Skrillex is in NBA. Okay,
really?
That franchise doesn't listen to dubstep.
No,
but they had Skrillex.
No,
so
dubstep's really crossing over into the game world. I mean, look at that Assassin's Creed Revelations trailer from E3 last year. Or not, was it E3 or
It was awesome.
It was one of the trailers from last year. It was just heavy dubstep. It was really good.
Yeah. It definitely makes good for a trailer, something like that. It makes good for any kind of action, you know.
I say the beat is one of those things when you're playing a snowboard game, you just get in the rhythm of your combo, stuff like that. It's really good.
I can't think of better montage music than dubstep or techno or something of the sort, you know.
Well, as long as it's got a good hook, you're good to go.
Some kind of trance that'll get you really paying attention to what's going on.
I can think of one.
That's
the only good montage music is the song Montage.
Ooh,
gonna be a montage. Okay, I'm done.
All right, enough of that. Let's wrap up today with some sad news. This is actually really unfortunate. A Taiwanese man was found dead after playing games for apparently 23 hours straight. He was apparently sitting there for 9 hours without being noticed. And that's really morbid.
Yeah.
Apparently he's playing League of Legends, and the only way they noticed him, which this is the sad thing, was when they came over to tell him, by the way, your 23-hour pass is expired.
No, George, you have to have your head down when you do it.
I think
Wait, is
George,
that
like this, looking at the screen.
like is that how somebody looks? I
don't know what's more unfortunate, the fact that the waitress came to talk to him at the 23 hours. I mean, if you've ever been to these cafes, people come around all the time to see how you do. I don't know how it is in Taiwan or wherever this place is. I didn't read the article that much. But the fact that all the other gamers or people on their computers around them had no idea. Like, they're so focused on what they're doing. It's like, oh, hey, that guy hasn't moved in a while.
Yeah, that's kind of sad.
For 9 hours, you don't notice some guy hasn't moved from his chair?
I mean, that happens to me when I'm playing League.
That's horrible. You need to move like every few hours. Stand up, move around.
I'm kidding.
Not even every few hours. Like every 20 minutes or something, you should stand up and actually take a 5-minute break. But I mean, it's kind of amazing because when someone dies, there's a smell aspect as well. And it's like they didn't notice that either. It's like, but I mean, I think ultimately the lesson is, and we've kind of seen this a lot lately. Gamer sits down and plays a game for way longer than he should without getting up to take a break or anything, and then passes away. And it's terrible. It's a sad story. But I mean, I think it should be a lesson to gamers. Don't sit down and play video games for 10-hour stretches.
I don't believe that he died from playing video games.
No, he didn't. He had a heart attack.
Cardiac arrest.
Right.
Yeah.
He had a heart attack.
But still, I mean, it just shows that people. I mean, it is probably a good example, but I think the more lesson learned is really the fact that he was sitting there and no one noticed. I mean, it's just. I do want to say put it more on the fault of the people that run the cafe. You're sitting there for how many hours and nobody checks up on you.
Yeah. I mean, you notice this a lot. I mean, South Korea, they have restrictions on internet cafes. And a lot of places, they have restrictions set. Like, okay, you can only be here doing this for this long, and then you got to get going. You got to get out of here. Because it's dangerous if you're sitting there for so long staring at a screen. Not only is it bad for your eyes, but it's...
Yeah, there are all sorts of risks.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get a blood clot from doing that. All sorts of things, and that's why they say it.
I bad on the management there. I really put the blame on them.
But anyway, the reason I was saying a lesson to gamers not to sit down in too long is because I believe the article said the cause of the cardiac arrest was low temperature. Yep. And if he'd gotten up and moved around, it would have raised his body temperature, gotten his blood moving, and probably wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
So, sad day for gamers.
All right, let's move on to the rumor mill.
Oh God.
All right, we dug out some good ones here today. This one's actually pretty good. This one, I think when I found this one, it got redirected like 3 or 4 different ways. But PlayStation Gamer Magazine, or whatever, PSM, PlayStation Magazine, is teasing a mystery shooter sequel. And this article asks, could it be Black 2? And the Via link to this one said, oh, this could be Medal of Honor 2. But what do you guys think it's going to be?
I'm still trying to figure out what font they're using.
Mystery, it's a shooter, and it's a sequel.
Is it just a mystery because nobody knows what it is, or is it like a mystery? Like, oh, you gotta go find this guy and kill him.
I don't know if mystery needs is
Sherlock Holmes with a gun.
Is it LA Noire with guns? with more guns?
Right. With actual sandbox gameplay? No, just kidding.
I don't know.
I mean, a lot of people are thinking
is it Alan Wake with more guns?
I think this could be Medal of Honor because it's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big shooter. They're saying it's one of 2012's hottest shooters. I think they haven't seen Call of Duty yet. So.
But nobody.
That's the best part.
Halo
Black
4?
Ops 2?
Ooh, I like it.
Well, then again, Activision.
That's not a sequel. That's
Activision. Activision hasn't. Well, Black Ops 2 would be a sequel, but much like Modern Warfare 2 was the sequel,
and 3 was a
and
sequel.
Modern Warfare 3 is a sequel. So they're all sequels. But
Well, Modern Warfare is a sequel too. It's
No,
Call
Modern
of Duty
Warfare 2
4.
was the original. Modern Warfare 1 was a prequel to 2.
I don't think it was a prequel. I mean, it was the first game in the series.
And
It would be a prequel if Modern Warfare 2 was Modern Warfare 1, and then Modern Warfare 2 was Modern Warfare 1. That would be a prequel.
I was making
all right,
it.
now we're getting a little off here.
Little complicated.
All right, everybody take their pick at which game they think this is. We'll start with George.
I'm gonna actually go with Medal of Honor 2, to be honest.
All right,
It seems like the most.
fair enough.
Yeah.
I will go down to Gil. What do you think, Gil?
Pokemon Gray version. I think there's a good shot of this. I think Nintendo's ready to take Pokemon in a whole new direction and really appeal to the older crowd.
On the
got to the
PlayStation, yeah.
They got to the politics last game, so now this game, they're gonna get into firearms. Okay.
Well, I mean, Game Freak isn't owned by Nintendo. Nintendo just has a large share in Game Freak.
There you go.
So, you know.
Gil's going somewhere here.
Aaron likes it. Pokemon the shooter. I love it.
He had facts to back it up. He's ready.
All right.
I'm gonna say I want to say I've seen that font before, like the way they're writing their Q's and the O's. I just can't remember where. Otherwise, I could make a good guess. Because I think that's kind of a really big hint.
I mean, like, I think mystery is the wrong word they use there.
No, it's I was gonna say something like a Batman or maybe Splinter Cell, but those are all multis in a game series.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know. We'll find out.
Well, that's why we're guessing.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah, yeah. Good guess. We're going to find out. You know, it would be a great guess.
We'll find out next month.
We never
No,
found out.
Turns out I'm wrong. We're not gonna find out next.
Never.
month.
Actually, they're gonna just tease it in next month's PSM, so you buy 2 magazines.
I like it.
I like the strategy there.
Definitely.
Or maybe it's just a constant tease, you know? Like, that way you have to buy every magazine to find out the one that it's revealed in, you know?
Yeah,
and then
of
you
course.
get to like what is it, May or June, and say you're gonna find out at E3, and then you go to E3 and say, all right, purchase this magazine. It's gonna have it in it.
First
they're
look,
almost a ride.
exclusive.
point.
We're
Then
the
it-
only place that has it until it gets leaked onto the internet.
So they'll have it for
5
all of
days before
5 seconds.
This magazine goes live. The internet's gonna know what it is.
Yeah. That's like the Game Informer exclusive Zelda stuff. All that stuff was online literally seconds after it leaked. All
Good
right.
job, internet. We love you.
We love the internet. But let's go and move on to the next big rumor. This one I'm interested in too because according to Take-Two financial projections, we might see Grand Theft Auto 5 by holiday 2012.
Ooh.
That'd be amazing, considering
Which
there's
holiday?
been no trailers or anything.
Well, you had one trailer. You had the one
We did have a big trailer
the big,
release.
huge cinematic trailer that looked really awesome. And I really don't know if the game will be ready by then. I really don't want them to rush it.
If it really is and it's not rushed, that's awesome.
I need a quick refresher. When was 4 released? 2007,
Oh, God, so long ago.
8?
Yeah, it was like 07 or 08.
Man.
4 years. I want to see. I think that might work. 4 years for a game. And if they were developing this when they were pretty much wrapped up with 4,
It was it released for Xbox 360 and PS3 on, it looks like, in North America, April 29th, 2008. Yep.
2008. It might fit. It would fit.
Yeah.
About 4.5 years development, assuming right when they released it, they started working on the next one. Which
Don't
probably
forget
wouldn't be
too,
the
they did
case.
2 pretty big episodic DLCs for it. You had the
So
Lost of the Damned and
take a
Battle
year
of
off development time,
Daytona.
year and a half maybe. 3 years for a Grand Theft Auto game, I think it's doable.
Yeah.
If you have a big enough team on it, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's being done by Rockstar North, the the major leagues of Rockstar right there. This isn't Team Bondi here.
Not to mention, this will be delayed. They're going to project Christmas, but it's going to be delayed.
Oh yeah, I don't think this is coming out Christmas. I'm thinking mid 2013.
I think if they hit Christmas, that'd be they'd make a lot more money.
Coming from this quote, it sounds like it really might be. Yeah, but who cares? If it's a Christmas present, it's a Christmas present. No one needs to know until it's Christmas.
I mean, the thing is, with
the game sucks. Days, okay, well, I just opened it.
I mean, look at Skyrim on the PS3. They shipped it broken, fixed it later. They can do the same thing with GTA 5.
Exactly.
Ship it broken. We
come back
sales.
to those people who live out in the middle of nowhere with the 56K connection. They're not going to be able to play Skyrim.
They're pretty shrewd. But
let's be honest, those people should be lucky that they have video games. So it's all right.
But more importantly, that's kind of the days we're in now. Ship a broken game, doesn't matter, patch it later. PS3 and Xbox both have that functionality, which is actually kind of why I've liked bringing it back to Nintendo. Why I've liked the Wii for not having the ability to patch games, because then developers have to get it right before they ship it.
And even then, they kind of drop the ball on that.
Yeah, it's happened a few times with Metroid Other M's, save glitch, and
I never got that.
Swords.
I'm so glad I didn't.
I didn't get it either. And then the Skyward Swords quest glitch, and I think Call of Duty on the Wii actually can do patches. I
think it can actually.
But for the most part, no. Whatever you ship, you're stuck with it.
Once again, we're bringing Nintendo into the news when they're not in the news.
All right, let's move on to the final piece of the rumor mill today, and that is the rumor circling about that the new Xbox, the next generation Xbox, will feature one-time use codes that will essentially curb used game sales. What do you guys think of this? We'll toss it to the peanut gallery.
It's Steam on your console.
Why do they need to do this?
Because Steam has a really good model and they want to emulate that.
But that's not emulating the Steam model. That's emulating the model from publishers releasing one-time use codes with their games. The Steam model is you download a game and
you have
no matter
forever.
what happens, you get to re-download that game and keep it forever on any computer you log into Steam on.
So if they start synchronizing all their accounts, saying you got your code on this account, you can play it on this account forever. I think it's a good thing. If you don't adopt the Steam model to your console, I don't think you should do it at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's about killing used game sales, and I don't think it's gonna. There's really no incentive for Microsoft to do this. Zero, because. They got to get publishers to publish games on their consoles, but publishers are going to do it anyway because Microsoft is going to sell a ton of consoles.
Right.
And publishers aren't going to say, well, you didn't do this thing we wanted, so we're going to only publish our games on Sony. And Sony has like 2 consoles to Microsoft's 10. And then the publishers are going to look at those numbers and be like, okay, well, we guess we're going to develop our games for your console too, because you have a lot more than the other guys. It's not good for the users, and those are what should matter to Microsoft more than the publishers, because the publishers will come regardless of whether or not Microsoft does them any favors.
Right. If there are people there to sell a product to, why wouldn't they want to delve into the market and sell a product?
I'm going to go ahead and say this kind of thing would only hurt Sony. I think having used games doesn't hurt anybody that much. I think it's more of an impact to Sony whether or not they do or don't, because if Microsoft has a lot of used games on their market, people are going to buying those used games are going to play them on multiplayer, a paid service, which Sony doesn't have.
Yeah.
So having this pay it once, you got this code, nobody else can use it. It wouldn't really benefit Sony. It would just hurt Microsoft more.
Yeah.
Because there'd be less people with used games playing online for their paid service.
Well, what if you think of it this way? What if you do have these one-time use codes, But instead of, I think this is a segue for Microsoft. They're going to start doing these one-time use codes. You can eliminate the cost of Xbox Live. Why not?
That's not gonna happen.
No,
No.
'cause that's not going to eliminate the cost of Xbox Live for Microsoft. I mean, the codes. I mean, unless there's
Microsoft gets a cut of every game it's sold, and if you're selling one-time use codes and you're saying, okay, if you want to play this game, you need to buy this code. This code, regardless if you buy a digital copy of the game for $60 or if you buy a disc copy, it gets stored in the cloud. You have Steam-like synchronization enabled, where you could re-download the games to your hard drive. At that point, Microsoft gets paid a flat fee for every game being used.
Okay. If they adopt the Steam model, it would work because Valve doesn't really put much money into their service. Like any game's multiplayer server is done through the publisher or Valve itself. Valve has a lot of multiplayer games. Microsoft's service is a little bit different.
Not so much. I mean, all you have that's the same is unified account management. I mean, when you're playing Call of Duty, for example, you're not connecting to an Xbox Live server in Redmond. You're connecting to an Activision server for Call of Duty.
Exactly, which is why I think the one-time use codes wouldn't. It would work. Again, the Steam model would work because you wouldn't have to pay for online anymore. And then again, it would kind of hurt Microsoft. You're not paying for the online anymore. There goes their pay-to-play service.
Here's one more thing.
Not beneficial to anybody. It just hurts Microsoft a little bit. They'd have to adjust their marketing strategy.
Yeah.
Here's just one more thing. It might be a little bit smaller. It might be in the back of people's heads, or not even at all. But to me, if I have a one-time use, I'm deterred to buying games.
Why?
I buy some games with the thought in the back of my head, like, okay, well, if it sucks, at least I can get something for it. If it's a one-time use deal and it sucks, you're stuck with it.
Well,
you know?
I feel
You have a lot of experience with that. We know.
No. A lot of people. Okay, what if you're the
case in point here? I bought Battlefield 3, and I can't resell this for anything more than probably peanuts. Now.
All right, well, we'll say it was
Do you know why? Because it's got a one-time use code inside for the multiplayer, and that's the major selling point of the game.
Right. So now you have a game. It doesn't even have to be a bad game. It could be a good game. Maybe you don't have enough time for it anymore. Maybe it's just not your type of game. You thought it was more of your type, and you don't want it anymore.
Well, I think we should be seeing more demos of games available, and that's been becoming a better option for developers. So they can encourage people to try things out. Like, for example, there's a lot of Kinect games available for download for demos. Like, for example, I tried out Fruit Ninja Kinect. I had a lot of fun with it. Would I buy it? No, because it's not my type of game.
Right.
I don't. As long as people are buying a physical copy of a game, as long as it's a disc, it's going to be unacceptable to nerf that in any way,
right?
Or in any way, reduce the value by including a one-time use code like that, because it's anti-consumer. If I can throw that term out there, it's anti-consumer to do that. The only time that's going to become acceptable where you can't resell a game is going to be the Steam model. And people aren't going to complain about that.
Microsoft does have a bit of the Steam model already in place with Games on Demand. Like, I have a copy of Halo Reach from Games on Demand, and if I, for example, get a new Xbox, I can download that copy of Halo Reach because I own it.
Yeah.
Which is good. They already have the system in place. It's a matter of just flipping a switch. If Microsoft really wants to start getting people to buy games digitally, they have to make an incentive. That's an incentive right there. No discs, no worrying about losing them. If you offer a financial benefit to it, like, say, for example, it's $5 cheaper, hey, you're going to get a lot of direct sales that way.
Yeah.
And you're cutting out the middleman of retail, pulling away maybe $5 to $10 per disc, and you're pulling out all the distribution costs involved, except for bandwidth.
Yeah. Thing is, Best Buy is not going to be too happy about that.
Nope.
So I mean,
And that's
there are
why,
a lot of factors in this.
Think of it this way: when the PSP Go released, it lost a lot of retail support because no gamer that bought a PSP Go needed to come back to the store. And if that happens, they're going to lose the retail support, which is why I don't think console gaming will go to a pure digital format.
I could see a hybrid coming where you can buy one or the other, because that's some of that's already in place. But I'm also looking this into a long-term perspective. Think about like before Halo 3 came out, and people got rid of their Halo 2. Like, I'm done with this. Halo 3 is coming out, and this kid sells it to his friend, saying, "Hey, you can play this for a while." The kid who picks it up says, "Oh my god, I love this game. I want to get Halo 3." That also kind of spreads it around. I mean, with the used game available, that physical game, even though you're not playing it anymore, it doesn't mean someone else doesn't want to play it.
But the point that a lot of developers are having, and if I show an image here, this is actually it's pretty hilarious. This is one of the this is Jameson Dural, who is a designer for Volition Games, worked on Saints Row the Third, and he's not too happy about the whole used game market because people buy his game, they play it, they sell it to GameStop. Let's say it's a new release game. You bought it for $60. You sell it back to GameStop for $30. GameStop then resells the game for $55.
GameStop's ripping a lot of people off.
There, you have a problem. You have a huge problem. GameStop is scraping $25 off that, $25 extra off that game by selling a used copy of it, and none of that money goes to developers, and that's the problem.
Well, apparently, even when you buy new games, sometimes developers aren't getting money for new games either. Not just used, not even used. Unopened, brand new games from the retailer. Apparently, sometimes they're not even getting money from that. I can't remember. I read an article about it 1 or 2 days ago. I don't have it in front of me, unfortunately. But I read about that. I was like, dang, that sucks.
That's horrible.
Yeah, and think about old games too. On like old games on Steam and stuff. The original developers aren't seeing any of the money. Like, you buy Deus Ex on like the original on Steam. The developer's not seeing a cent.
Well, does the original dev studio for the original Deus Ex still exist?
I have no idea, but I mean, but the point is that
who was that, Sierra?
Even if it did, they wouldn't be seeing any money. So, I mean, developers basically they get their one initial shot at making money from the game, and then after that, everyone else gets all the money. So I don't know.
Here's a question. Do other media formats operate the same way? I mean, I don't know if reselling DVDs, people buy DVDs anymore, or Blu-rays, or even CDs. Yeah, who buys CDs anymore? But
I love buying CDs.
Do
a lot of
people
people
still get
buy
royalties from that kind of stuff? I honestly don't know. That's why I'm asking. But if they don't, it's kind of a global problem, not just with video games.
Yeah, well, I mean, in terms of music, artists always get screwed.
Yeah,
artists make nothing from CD sales. It's all the shows for them.
Oh yeah, for them. I mean, look at Radiohead when they released one of their CDs, and they let their fans set the price. It was super successful for them, and it basically pointed out to them, "Oh yeah, by the way, labels, we don't need you anymore."
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the whole royalty thing is a huge problem for them or not. But on the bright side, you can always resell a CD or a DVD or even a Blu-ray, and there's no lockout code.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if Hollywood had their way, there probably would be.
Well, if Hollywood had their way,
they don't.
You'd buy it each and every time you watched it. Like, you'd put the disc in it and say, "Please insert your credit card for the $5 charge to watch the movie this time." You know.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
I
think we've all learned a lesson today, folks, and that is buy your games off Steam.
Go PC.
This is
or
the
buy
second
them new.
This is the second straight podcast. Yeah, there you go. There you go with the Steam app. Oh my god. The GenGAMEcast, brought to you by Cablevision and the Steam app.
I wish it was
and
brought, I wish it was
Nintendo
brought
because they
by the
paid us to
Steam app.
bring them into every new store.
I wish
so.
we had actual sponsors for this show.
That'd be awesome.
We should probably get on that.
Yep. But I do we have anything else to go through here? I think we got through the rumor mill pretty much unscathed. There were a couple saws in there, but we avoided them. But
Yeah.
let's go ahead and wrap up for today because we've been podcasting now for a little bit over an hour, and I think Aaron probably wants to go live. Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe.
Let him wait.
But we'll go and we'll wrap up here. Benny, where can people find you online?
People can find me on the Twitter at NightPhoenix16, NIGHTPHOENIX16. Email me, BennyG@GenGame.net. And you can watch me on Hyrocraft.
Yeah, you got Hyrocraft Weekly. That's Fridays,
gotta
right?
plug it. Fridays.
That's
yes.
Fridays.
Fridays. 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific.
Benny, where can people... not Benny, Gil, where can people find
I'll
you
say
online?
it again.
Did you say George?
No, I said Gil.
That's what I thought.
Oh, I thought you said Joe. I'm sorry. I think my Twitter handle's been in the lower third the whole time. So, twitter.com/Mr. Puck. Mr. spelled out, not MR, MISTER, PUCK, since we're spelling things out. I mean, I got a couple websites and stuff, but, you can
plug them.
my
Go
Twitter.
ahead, plug them.
Okay, I got neverywhere.net. It's basically everywhere, but put an N at the beginning, .net. You can find a bunch of stuff I do there as well. That's pretty much it.
All right, George, where can people find you?
People find me at Twitter at George Pekar. My name GeorGepekar, not Pecker. You could also find me streaming essentially every weeknight, real late, around 12 p.m. Eastern
I'm
Standard
going to be
Time.
taking some slots away from you soon once I get my schedule set.
Well, we're gonna get that all settled out. But you can find me playing League of Legends most of the time, the League of Trolls. Also, I guess you can find us at GenGame.net/the League if you'd like to find out more about that. If you're a League of Legends player, all that's kind
Did we
of
even
stuff.
make the league page?
What?
Did we make the league page yet?
We're working on it.
You put the URL on there. I thought you were going to work on that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll make sure that's up at the end of the show. But you
George,
can find
according to
me
Aaron-
online at Twitch at twitch.tv here, Zelda Dungeon Channel. Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/themags. And that's going to do it for the show tonight, guys. So thank you so much for joining us. This has been the GenGAMEcast, and we'll see you next time.